Hello, my name is Devin with HDpiano, and in this lesson we're learning I Will Survive. Let's check it out. All right, I'm actually going to stop there. Got a little ahead of myself there. We're only going to learn that intro and that rubato verse in this first video, but we'll be learning the rest of this arrangement, which is kind of an intermediate to advanced level arrangement, as well as a beginner arrangement if any of that was like, whoa, that's a little out of my league, over at hdpiano.com. So if you're not there already, hope you can join me there after this. All right, so let's get right to it. This song is really marked by this dramatic, epic piano intro, and a very Liberace moment, but with some practice, it's actually pretty achievable, mainly because it's just the same arpeggio, up and up and up, and then back down. So here's how that looks. We've got E in both hands, and our left hand starts it off with G sharp, B, and D. So dramatic, really, big entrance on the first note, and then dum, 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 dum. All right, and then we're gonna start with our thumb on F. All right, now the notes that follow are the shape that we're going to arpeggiate up, and this is a diminished chord, meaning every note is equidistant. There's two notes between each note. If you dive in, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, etc. So what I first want you to do is just kind of make sure that you can play this shape up and down the keyboard, right? Same four notes, just up an octave, and then back down, and then back down. Now the next step would be to piece it out. So notice that I'm hitting with my pointer here so that my thumb can pick up when it's ready, right there. Now cross. And when we get to the top, we're going to hit that top F with our pinky, come back down, and stop where we started with our thumb. Okay, so some practice tips for this. Just stop right at a crossover. All right, if you can do that, nice and slow. And now it shouldn't sound like this, right? It's very tempting with your thumb, your bulkiest finger, to just slam into that next one, but you want to be real gentle. All right, and if you're good with that, extend that process up the keyboard, and then practice it the opposite. Ooh, see? I still need some practice myself, right? Stopping here on my fourth. All right, once you got that nice and comfortable, come all the way down. And I will say it does kind of slow down on the way down. You can be as dramatic as you want with it. And that goes for the way up. I mean, if you want to do it nice and slow. And a little faster on the way down. It's kind of whatever you want to do with it. But there you go. That's that epic intro arpeggio, which leads us into the melody. So we're learning the melody in this version, but I am going to make a separate video called the accompaniment lesson, where I just talk about how you can just something you might do if you were singing yourself or playing with a singer. But for this video, we're learning that melody in the right hand. So octave A's, and then we land here on a huge A minor. Now I have like medium-sized hands, and I'm able to reach this on white keys, which is good because we're only going to be hitting it on white keys. And this is a 10th with the 5th in the middle. So A, E, and C. So we roll that up, and we have A, C, E, and A in the right. And it's a big ascending roll. Now, if you hold the pedal, it doesn't even matter if you have small hands because you can just, roll up. You don't have to hold them all down. I like to hold them all down, though, because it, for one, makes the blocks appear in the video. so you can see them all on screen. Okay, so A minor. Right, we all know the lyrics. At first I was afraid, and that's going to be really important as you play this melody throughout the whole song, making sure you can kind of match the syllables and the phrasing to the lyrics themselves, because that's what people know. So at first I was afraid, and we're going to follow up right here with an A minor triad in the left. So we play our big chord, and we come up. Okay, so that brings me to, let's just check out this left hand before we get too ahead of ourselves putting both hands together. A minor, spread to the triad. D minor, spread out, D, A, F, same shape, to F, A, D. Same 3 notes in a slightly different order. G, D, B, to a G major triad, G, B, D. Down to C, up to E, G, and C. To F, which is FCA, and then FAC. That's our first 5 measures, and they all follow that pattern of big chord, small chord, big open chord, small triad, big open chord, small triad, etc. Okay, and once again, if your hands are small, roll it. Okay, notice that each big chord, AEC, ACE, shares the same 3 notes as the smaller chord that follows. Okay, let's add that melody. So we're going to be mostly dealing with white notes in the melody until the very last measure, actually. So that's helpful. We go up to C, back down to B, A, chord. All right, so we've got the left hand like we learned, but we've got B, D, and A in the right. And we're gonna play that chord, G, 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 chord, G, G, F, for this measure. So chord, G, 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 chord, G, G, F. And here we land on C, our C major chord in the left with A, C, and F in the right, coming down to G, C, and E. All right, that's our first 4 measures. I'm gonna go through that real slow. At first, I was afraid. My bad. I should have come up a little sooner with that. One more time. All right, so that's beat 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Whoops, just octaves there in the right. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 3 and 4 and. So we follow up there with 3 octave E's to get us to our next chord, F major 7. What a beautiful, luscious chord that is. All right, one more time. Remember, pedal on every measure to let that left hand ring out. Octave E's. All right, so we get to F major in the left with E, A, C, and E in the right. And we're gonna play our chord, roll the whole thing. E, 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 E. Pretty easy measure for the right hand. All right, we land here on octave B's in the left, E, A, B, and E in the right. This is the first time when the left hand kind of changes. We've just got an octave coming up to this nice jazzy chord, F, A, B, and D. This is B minor 7 flat 5. All right, so B minor 7 flat 5. with a chord there. And in the right hand, we're rolling E, A, B, and E. So chord, D, 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 same chord with the left hand coming up. E, F, E, and then same chord in the right with E, A, and B in the left. And that's when the beat kicks in and the disco begins, right? So, from where we left off there, F major 7. Okay, so we land on our E sus chord, right? E, A, B, E, A, B, E. And we bring in the beat with bum 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 bum. And that's B, E, E. And then we have an E major root position triad on the left, which is E, G sharp, and B. And we have B and G sharp. And we go chord, G sharp, chord, A, chord with a B on top, octave G sharps. And I believe that's where it's and so you're back, and so you're back, whoops, and so you're back. Now in this arrangement, we kind of bring it down to a very relaxed second verse, and that's because the dynamics are so big in the verse, and this is kind of geared towards solo piano. So without a band, it's kind of hard to just like play loud the whole time. So this allows us to fluctuate the dynamics a little more, and I think it's a nice surprise. So we have the whole verse. I'm going to play through it one more time. We start with our big intro. Nice and slow. And there we are. Now, if you want to practice hands separately, well, you can just use what I just played and just focus on one hand at a time. Just because I'm playing with both hands doesn't mean that you can't practice with one hand at a time and work your way towards putting your two hands together. Okay, so that's the gist of it. I want to just talk real quick about these chords because they're super cool. Right? They have a very classical feel, and that's because the bass line, A to D to G to C to F to B to E. You could measure the distance of each of those notes, and it's the same because it's moving up in fourths. A fourth up from A is D, G, C, F, B, E, and back to A. So by moving in fourths through the key of A minor, we create this very like classical progression, and it's also the same as Fly Me to the Moon, right? So it's not uncommon to hear this progression across all styles of music. Now, I just wanted to point that out to get you kind of excited about what we'll talk about a little more in the accompaniment version. So if you're a little more curious about the harmony of this one, that's where I'm going to dive in to the deep stuff. So anyways, there you have it. We'll see you there. All right, great job making it this far. If you're already at HDpiano.com, go ahead and click on part 2 to continue learning. And if you're not, head on over and you can get started learning the rest of this song. In the meantime, please send us your song ideas at requests.hdpiano.com. Follow us on social media so you can stay in the know about our upcoming lessons. And if you're on YouTube, drop us a comment below, like, subscribe. We love hearing from you guys. My name's Devin with HDpiano.com. We'll see you soon.